From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, July the 28th, 2020. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu toured Israel's northern border today after an attempted attack yesterday by Iranian-backed Lebanese-based terror group Hezbollah. As we reported to you, a terror cell infiltrated Israeli territory from Lebanon and were forced back after IDF troops opened fire. Netanyahu said the incident was a result of Iran trying to gain a foothold in the region and warned against anyone testing Israel. He told a security briefing with IDF northern commanders, "We will do whatever is necessary to defend ourselves, and I suggest that Hezbollah consider this simple fact. Israel is ready for any scenario." The IDF, meanwhile, has sent more reinforcements to the area. An attack on a synagogue in Ukraine today was prevented. The Jewish News of the United Jewish Community of Ukraine said a man armed with an axe broke into the compound that houses the synagogue in Mariupol, demanding to know where the synagogue was, and attacking the security guard who was slightly hurt but managed to fight off, disarm, and chase away the attacker. The rabbi of the synagogue was inside at the time he managed to escape out the back. Police are looking for the attacker. The Democratic Party's platform drafting committee overwhelmingly rejected an amendment that would call on the U.S. to condition aid to Israel if it goes ahead with annexing parts of the West Bank. It also rejects the usage of the term Israeli occupation. The amendment was proposed by Clem Balanoff, the Illinois director of a group called Our Revolution, and was also pushed by J Street, among other groups. The platform does include Democratic opposition to annexation. Former U.S. Ambassador to Israel Dan Shapiro said the platform makes clear our opposition to unilateral steps by either side to undermine prospects for peace. He said, "For the first time, we say clearly our opposition to Israeli settlement expansion. For the first time, we state clearly and by name our opposition to Israel's annexation of territory of the West Bank. We state clearly," Shapiro said, "that we will continue to stand against incitement and terror. And for the first time, we recognize the right of Palestinians to live in a state of their own." The party's platform will be ratified at next month's Democratic convention and then presented to the public. Jewish leaders lauded the passage by the House of the Middle East Partnership for Peace Act, which provides $250 million over 5 years for grassroots peace-building and economic development efforts between Israelis and Palestinians. Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations Arthur Stark, William Daroff, and Malcolm Hoenlein wrote that the funding represents a significant step in building civil society programs. They added, "We appreciate that safeguards are built into the program to ensure that funds are used solely by approved and accredited organizations for humanitarian purposes, as for far too long, funds directed to the Palestinian Authority were misdirected to promote terror and violence." We have been reporting to you about anti-Semitic posts on social media made by several athletes and entertainers in the Black community, including rapper Ice Cube, whose recent posts include a mural many have called anti-Semitic and images associated with conspiracy theories against Jews. Well, today, the president of the Zionist Organization of America, Morton Klein, tweeted that he had a 2-hour-long conversation with the rapper, writing, "Cube told me he supports condemning Black and all anti-Semitism, and I condemned all racism." Ice Cube later praised Klein, whom he tweeted had the courage to seek the truth and speak with me and see for himself. "I am obviously not an anti-Semite or racist. I admire him for the advocacy of his people and look forward to talking more on how Black and Jewish communities can work together." Well, turning now to some entertainment news, Israeli actress Shira Haas, who you may know from the hit Israeli series on Netflix, Shtisel, received an Emmy nomination today for another Netflix series, her work on Unorthodox, which is also up for an Emmy for Outstanding Limited Series. The series, based on the book by Deborah Feldman, tells of an ultra-Orthodox Jewish woman who flees her Hasidic community in Brooklyn to find herself in Berlin. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, July the 28th. At 7 o'clock, Stephen Boehm talks about American Jewry and Israel. At 8, David Harris discusses Muslim-Jewish relations, racial justice in the U.S., and global anti-Semitism. That's with Bel Etra-Yoeli at the 2020 AJC Global Forum. At 9 tonight, Mark Golub speaks with Democratic spokesperson Haley Seufer and Republican spokesperson Bruce Abramson on issues of importance to pro-Israel American Jews with regard to the 2020 presidential elections. At 10:30, it's a look at the documentary Fiddler, Miracle of Miracles. And coming up next, Shachar Azani speaks with CEO of Alma Education Center in northern Israel, Sarit Zehavi, who talks about Israel's clashes with Hezbollah in the north and analyzes the terror group's long-term intentions and actions in light of Iran's ongoing involvement in Syria. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, July the 28th, 2020. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well.